Hello, Yaaka. Differentiate between milk hold up and milk let down.
Hello, teacher. Hello.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Teacher, sorry, my internet was unstable.
Okay, since you are back, before you went off, I was asking a question that, can you differentiate between milk cold up and milk let down?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Milk hold up, it's the movement of milk to the lower part of the udder. Then
Yeah.
I said milk let down. It's the movement of milk to the lower part of the udder. Then when we talk of milk hold up, this is the process where milk it's not released into the udder.
Okay, which hormone is responsible for milk cold up? Yes. Yeah. Which hormone is
Teacher,
responsible for milk?
adrenaline.
It's
Adrenaline.
adrenaline. And then which hormone is responsible for milk let down? Hello? Hormone responsible for milk let down?
Teacher, it is oxytocin.
Okay, that is good. So I was able to see your assignment that you forwarded on my email. But why didn't you type it?
Yes,
Why didn't you type your assignment?
I should type.
You type it if there is a potential to type. Okay? Can you type it?
Teacher, I can, but it will take time.
Why?
Mhm.
It tells Savior to type it for you.
Okay.
Okay, so today we are going to study about milking as a process. Wait, milk, how do we produce clean milk? And some of these points are very important practicing inside your palm milking parlor. You could read the first 5 points as we move on.
Okay. Clean, healthy cows must be maintained free of brucellosis and tuberculosis. Regular grooming and washing of animal is important for removal of dirt and loose hair that can contaminate milk. All the equipment used during milking must be kept sterile by washing and drying. The milking parlor should be kept spotlessly clean to reduce contamination of milk by microbes. Personnel handling milk should be clean by having clean clothes, short hair, and fingernails. Milk should always be covered when in containers to stop foreign materials from entering it. The person milking should not be suffering from any contagious disease, e.g. tuberculosis. Cows suffering from mastitis should be milked last and the milk poured away to reduce the spread of disease.
Okay, thank you. So when we are going to milk, to produce quality and clean milk, we have to put these points into consideration. Clean, healthy cows must be maintained free of brucellosis and tuberculosis. These are diseases which are found in animals. So you have to make sure animal is healthy. And then the other is grooming. Grooming simply means removing the loose hair. Removing the loose hair, removing the dung which is around the animal's body. This helps us to produce quality milk and helps to avoid contamination of milk. And then the other point says, all the equipment used during milking must be kept sterile by washing and drying. After milking, you take the milking can, the milking bucket for washing. After washing, sun dry. Sun dry, the pathogens will die. That is what we call sterilizing. We use the sun. And then the other point says milking parlor should be kept spotless clean to reduce contamination of milk by microbes. Make sure that you clean the milking parlor. Milking parlor is the place where milking happens. You have to remove all the dirt which is within to avoid contamination of milk. Because a dirty milking parlor will lead to accumulation of microorganisms, the pathogens which have potential to cause disease. And then the other point says personal handling milk should be clean by having clean clothes. The person handling milk, the stockman, the milker, you should make sure that your clothes are clean. You should not be very dirty just because you deal with animals. You also be dirty. You have to look clean because you may produce clean milk from the cow, yet you have some cow dung or dirt on your clothes, and the dirt will fall inside milk, and that leads to contamination of milk. And you have to make sure you cut your fingernails because your fingernails can easily cause disease on the teats and udder of the animal, hence leading to mastitis. And then the other point says the milking should not be suffering from any contagious disease such as tuberculosis. Make sure that you are fine. The person who is milking should not be having diseases because there are some diseases which are shared between animals and humans. When a being is having the disease, it can be contracted by the end of the day, it goes to the milk, and the process continues amongst people, and this can cause sickness and death within humans. And then the last point says, cows suffering from mastitis must be milked last and milk poured away to reduce the spread of the disease. When you have sick animals on the farm, make sure that the ones which are sick are milked last, because once you milk them first, you are going to spread the pathogens from the sick animal to the diseased, from the healthy sick animal to the healthy animal. At the end of the day, you may end up losing all your. Be wise when you are doing milking. Is this page clear?
Yes.
Let's go to the next page. You may Jackie, I'm not hearing you. You read.
Regular tests for tuberculosis in the herd should be carried out regularly, and animals found with tuberculosis should be culled. Before milking, the milker should wash his hands thoroughly and dry it with a hand towel to reduce contamination of the milk with dirt. Milking parlor should be far away from poultry houses, piggeries, manure pits, and latrines, which may pollute the air and provide a breeding ground for flies. The milking parlor should be built on a high ground to permit good drainage. Wild plants which have an odor that taint milk should be removed from the milking place. Milk should be cooled from the normal temperature of 37 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius to reduce bacteria multiplication. Proper milking techniques should be followed to reduce injury to tests and contamination of the milk.
Okay. Okay, regular tests for tuberculosis in the heart should be carried out regularly, and animals found with tuberculosis should be culled. You have to remove these animals, the diseased animals, away from the healthy ones because the disease can easily multiply. And then the other point says, before milking, I should wash his hands thoroughly and dry it with a hand towel to reduce contamination of milk. Okay, so you have to make sure hands are clean. Some of you do some dirty work. Maybe you're from harvesting, you're from in the garden. You say, okay, let me go. Your hands have to be clean. And then the other point says the milking parlor should be far away from the poultry houses, piggeries, and latrines, which may pollute the air and provide a breeding ground for flies. Very well that toilets have a potential to attract, but if you take your milking next to the toilet, next to the piggery, next to the flies inside your milk, at the end of the day, the quality of reduced, and you'll fetch a little money when you're in the market, little income, because they will tell you, you not sell to us contaminated milk. Even will you be happy to go to the market and buy milk flies?
No.
You cannot be happy. The other point, the milking ground be built on a high ground to permit good drainage. Good drainage means it should have ability to flow alone into the trench. And the plants and odor that can taint milk should be removed from the milking place. Such plants, we have the oranges, we have onions. These ones should never and never be milking parlor and easily change the quality of milk. Milk can easily go and what you have made a loss. So you have to make sure that you remove all such plants area. It could be weeds. There are certain are not and from degrees Celsius to reduce bacterial multiplication. In between such bacteria may not be able to multiply, to reproduce. That's why you put in the fridge. Temperatures are too low, 4 degrees Celsius and 37. 37 is high, is more hot. It means that there is no way bacteria can multiply. When it is above, it is denatured. When it is 4 degrees Celsius, it is inactive. It is dormant. So these proper milking techniques should be for heats and combination of milk. You have to have the skill. Okay? Don't go there and start fidgeting, fighting with a cow. You have to be calm when you are practicing milking. Is this page clear? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now here does the quality of milk, the composition of milk. Why is that you rear the animal, but you get milk of low quality, milk of little? There are 2 words that the heading there. First word wasn't written well. That's why we have a repetition of this word. The first word is supposed to be the quantity, and then the other word is quality. There are factors which affect this. You may reach in an exam, you find a question which asks, explain factors which the production in Uganda. The points you should have at the back of your mind. Point number 1, breed of the animal. Friesians produce large amounts of milk, but of low butter fat. The butter fat, remember when milk composition, there is fat. So these Friesians produce a lot of milk, but with a little butter fat, produce the butter content. It will give you 1 cup, but which has butter fat content of quality compared to the other. Age of the animal. Okay. Old cows produce more milk than young ones. However, the butter fat of the milk produced by the older cows is lower than that of the young ones. You ask yourself, why? Do you want to assume that in your own understanding, maybe you could be saying, I think young cows or the heifers are the ones which have not yet even given birth. They are still in their youth stage. You may assume they would produce more milk, but the reverse is true. Older ones produce more milk than the young ones because the milk composition increases with age. However, the butter fat of milk produced by the older ones is very low than the young ones. Because when these animals are growing, their bodies get weaker, and they utilize a lot of nutrients in their bodies. So such to rebuild body parts which are worn out compared to these young ones. Young ones are still having the ability to generate body parts properly, generate even to repair torn body parts. And then the other point says period of lactation. Remember last time we talked about lactation being the period at the time interval when the animal is being milked. At the start of the milking session, for example, if you are to milk for 6 weeks, the first 3-5 weeks, the cow will be able to produce you more milk. But then after the 7th week, the milk starts dropping. If you have been getting 10 liters in the first 5 weeks, on this, when you start the 7th week, 8th week, the milk will reduce, and you'll be able to get 2 cups, 5, 3, until when it dries off. Okay, The last word should not scare you. Drying off is when the animal stops producing milk. We shall study that in detail in the next lesson. And then the animal health. Healthy animals produce more milk compared to the sick animals, which may also contain antibiotics and drugs, more especially after treatment. So you have to make sure that the animal is healthy. When you have healthy animals, you're able to get quality milk and increase the liters of milk. Animal temperament. Quiet or calm animals are the best milkers. Those animals which are docile, they are easy to harm, they produce you good milk. But if you find them are nervous, every time they feel like they want to jump around, they want to do such animals, give less milk because they don't give you attention. You want to milk it, it jumps around. You touch the teats, it starts moving around. So they are not easy to milk. At the end of the day, you'll have low quantity of milk. Is this page clear to you?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, you read these ones there.
Water supply. Water is needed for the health of the cow and also in the manufacture of milk, since it is 87% water. Provision of enough water increases milk yield. Food eaten. Animals fed on concentrates will produce more milk, which is of better quality than those who feed on the ration full of refuges. Season of the year. During the rainy season, cows produce milk with high fat content. The quality of milk is also high due to the abundant pastures and water. Heat period. Extras causes a slight decline in milk production, which may be due to the reduced feed intake. The butterfat content of the milk can also fluctuate by 1% above or below normal. Temperature. High temperatures reduce milk yield due to the increased evaporation of water from the animal's body. Management. Proper feeding of animal and better handling during milking will increase the quality and quantity of milk produced. Rough handling leads to the increase of adrenaline and hence milk holdup. Milking interval. The greater the number of milking times, the higher the amount of milk produced. However, morning milking produces milk with higher fat content.
Okay, thank you. Butterfat content. Okay, thank you. So these are also part of the factors that limit or increase the quality and quantity of milk produced. Water supply. Water is needed for the health of the cow and also in manufacture of milk. Since all of us know that milk contains 87% of water, so you should be able to produce more water.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you'll be able to increase the quantities of milk. Food eaten. Animals feed on concentrates. Animals which feed on concentrates will produce more milk. which is of better quality than those that feed on rations full of roughages. Roughages.
Yeah.
Can you differentiate between roughages and concentrates?
Concentrates. Teacher,
A few, yes.
From what you've given us last time, like you said, the concentrates can be okay. It can not only be grass, but you add on some other nutrients on it. I don't know how to explain it, but I know what it is.
Okay, what of roughages?
Roughages.
Roughages simply including contains a lot of grass, okay? Dry grass. But for the case of concentrates, you are able to give the animal one meal. We have maize bran. Those are the concentrates we are talking about. So if you make the animal feed on concentrates, you'll get more milk and you'll be happy. And then the other point says, season of the year, during rainy season, cows produce much milk with high butter fat content than the quantity of milk. The quantity of milk is also high due to abundant pastures and water. But in a dry season, the cows don't have enough water, the cows don't have enough feeds, so at the end of the day, the milk drops, the quantity and quality reduces. Heat period, estrus, hope you still remember oestrus and estrus. Did you study about heat? Hello? Did you study about heat in animals? Hello, Jack.
No.
Okay. Heat is a period when the animal is mature and ready to mate. Hello? I'm not getting you. You are trying to communicate, but I'm not getting. So estrus causes a slight decline in milk when the animal on heat reduces because estrogen hormone. So, Jackie, you are trying to communicate, but I'm not. Hello, your network. Okay, you have gone off. Your network is too unstable today.